for Pisces. Pisces, hi guys, what's up? So this is about first house, Saturn, next while till 2026. Now it's 2023. I'm a little bit late with this one, but let's break it down. So to me, it looks like when you win, you win. When you lose, you lose. Try to no longer blur the lines or merge your win and your loss. For example, oh, I made a really beautiful painting, but it's not really what I wanted to say in my heart. You won. You got a beautiful work of art out there. Just be happy with that. Or like, oh, this girl doesn't talk to me anymore. She wants to talk to me. I know she does. I know she loves me. It's like, she doesn't want to talk to you. That person doesn't want to talk to you. Oh, well, it's just silly. She's just going through a phase. No, that person has ghosted you. Just be okay, they ghosted you. Being ghosted, having no money in the bank, having nobody to stand by your side. Let's walk away from faithful thinking patterns and walk back to nature, back to earth. Saturn in your first house. It's a very nice energy. It's a nice guide. It's like a nature guide. It's like walking. It's like being on tour, going camping somewhere. It's like learning about the native trees out there. It's a very, very good, wholesome feeling about the world, and it's always going to help you if you've got yourself together, and sometimes the tongue behind your teeth, and sometimes the tail between your legs, because this is kind of depending on you, how you set yourself up. In some cases, it's going to be a no-show. I didn't get the job. I didn't get married after all. We didn't really end up having kids. He just left, or that's it, we've done it, or I didn't understand what to do, and I failed my degree, or something like that. So there is like a certain, just a bad thing. A certain feeling that is like, wait, oh, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Some people don't have a lot of room. And in certain cases, some Pisceans just have to be careful with some things. For example, I invited a person to my house, and I only now understood that they were kind of a thief. Or for example, I have let everybody know about my plans, and then I noticed that nobody's really that kind to me. Like, everybody's judged me on what I think. And now I see that I can't have greater community support because of some things that I've said out loud, for example. Or I dressed a certain way. I went out of my way to get a lot of attention for something. I've made, for example, a whole bunch of TikTok videos. Or I've sang a lot of songs in the public eye, and now I understand that other people are not necessarily there for me anymore, or they have been really, really burdened or even frightened by what I've put out online. So maybe there's like a way that certain things close and then certain other things open. So it could also be very, very kind and happy. So it's like, well, actually now the hysteria of my youth is done. I'm quite happy to settle down. Now that I'm no longer questioning who I am, I'm quite happy to just be who I am. Now I can do what I really want. And for some people, it's going to be like a coming of age. And there's going to be like a question of like, did I really want it anyway? That didn't work out, but did I really need it anyway? I don't need this anyway, or I don't want it so much that I would spend so much money or so much time or so much power on something or somebody. I don't need this anymore. So like this kind of like debilitating energy, or this edginess to Saturn being in Pisces in your first house, is not really that good. It's not that great. Like, it's not a good feeling. It's not like a glamorous feeling, but something is done. Or it is so just like, okay, cool, this is obvious. It isn't a big deal. It's not like a bad emotion. It's not like a sad emotion. It's just like, well, look, this is dead. Like, I got this. This is dead. I got it. And then also some people have to be absolutely fine and put with you, and also they have to claim spaces with you now. So the next stage of evolution is them dependent on who you are. So for example, you've started a business, everybody has to come and sign up. Or for example, you're promoting or you're managing, very easy to be a manager these days for a Piscean, you're managing other people's progress. They have to go to you and sign up with you, and then they're free to go. So some other people also have to be absolutely a part of it, and some other people won't. And we have to watch out for that. Some people are like, no, no. And that very giant, great, but no, has to be very, very, very big for you. And it's not like, well, that person kind of said no, but I think it's a yes. I think it's a yes. It's just, It looks like it's a no. It's a no. It's a no. And I think also we have to be absolutely fine with that. So not like many people can really turn that around for you. So for example, if you've been blocked, or you have had a hard word with somebody and they've just said, look, you know, this, and this. Like they got really like, look, Pisces, don't do this, or we can't be friends, or something. There's going to have to be put into perspective. So, oh, it's okay. It's not going to be okay. So the nervous thing is going to have to go. I think maybe you are also prepared in a way, and you won't be so scared anymore. So before, like for example, looking at your YouTube channel or your emails, you were really nervous. But now it's just like, okay, look, I'm just looking. Yeah. Whatever people say is fine. Comments, fine. Okay, compliments, fine. Judgments, absolutely fine. No, I don't really care about it. So there's like a nice, cool, and controlled feeling, and you might have already found something to replace that which you've been trying to get at. So, for example, in the last cycle, you've been trying so hard, like jumping out of your pants, to be with somebody, or to be somebody else with somebody else, and now here it is, and you're like, okay, look, it's fine. It's like I switched that feeling of, or I've prepared myself with something or somebody else. So, for example, during this time, you can say, okay, I know that my girlfriend won't treat me very well. I know that she won't talk to me very well, but I have a couple of friends. Well, I just go with my friend and we have fun, and we go to the library together, we hang out, we go to the cafe sometimes, and that's it. And I get all my love and all my care from that person. And maybe that's it. Maybe I don't really need anybody else. Maybe I'm quite happy just hanging out with somebody like that. Maybe I need a best friend rather than a spouse today, for example. Or you could say, I've prepared it. You know, I can't wear these high heels anymore because of what they do to my feet, but I can maybe have a look at some different clothes and different styles, and you know, I've prepared myself. I have another possibility. I have another way. So maybe a certain person is ignoring you, but another person will not say no. So there's going to always be kind of a switch like that, and some people's lives are just going to be like, well, I can't have sugar anymore. Well, I guess it's going to be stevia for a while, or other things like that. It's very lukewarm at the same time, so it's not like this big, robust change or meaning that I feel that you are needing. I kind of feel that it's going to be just a very, very small chopping out of one thing and going to another. Say, like, I can't afford to go to Thailand, but the garden where I am is absolutely fine as it is, you know. And also making people really obvious and feeling really good and feeling very centered as to where you are, where you were, where you're not going to be, and how you are going. Also making people really obvious to you and making them just like, this person, for example, can't carry a lot of weight, but this person here can work very hard. That person here is not going to show up to work sometimes, but they're very, very amazing at what they do. And that person here, I can't really tell what they're doing, but I know that some of the time they're not very kind, but they really try. So maybe that's not the person I want on the team. So like, this is about marketing, managing, organizing, growing businesses maybe for some people, or growing a certain maturity where you just basically see exactly what it is that you're looking at, and trying to walk away from molding and kind of playing with people to go the way that you want them to go. It's like, well, if I helped you a little bit, or if I look at you like that, like, do you want to do what I want to do? Maybe not everybody does. So what else can I say? Habits have to go or stay. Smoking, drinking, anything like that. Doing things behind closed doors, also marketing, showing off, showing people something. I think that what you show on the outside has to be corrected. So, for example, you've had really, really long dreads that you never washed. Maybe it's time to cut them off. Just saying. Maybe, like, for example, if you've lost a lot of weight, maybe it's a good idea to gain a little bit of weight, and vice versa. If you've made something externalized for other people to see, for example, you made a certain type of YouTube page, but you're talking about things that absolutely don't matter to you and you're over it, maybe it's time to close it down and do something that actually starts to feel like something to you and starts to warm your heart. Maybe it's also not, sort of depends. Like, so for example, if you're caught up in a certain business, if you have a very, very big business, it's not maybe the choice or the hour to cut it off, but it may be also coming to a point where you might, it's like split ends, you know, I have to cut them off. So what else can I say? I suppose there is a way that people have to get exact with you, and you have to get exact on them. There is going to always be some kind of change, some kind of problem. There's going to be something in a mix, like this person can't turn up to work, or you won't be able to see this person today. Any type of relationship building has to start with probably a contract or something very obvious, some kind of a portal. It's like, you and me, I've met you, you know, like, happy to see you, like, shake the hands, look each other in the face. It's a very, very also good and glamorous feeling. I feel that some of you guys are further ahead than you thought. And it could be that, wow, I'm suddenly like a man, or like I'm suddenly a mature woman, or like, wow, I can suddenly start to create something very big and beautiful. But then also, like, the question is, did you pretend for a long time not to be that? So maybe some people accumulated some things that they didn't want to accumulate. Could be things in your body, could be parasites or funguses. It could be contacts around the world or just in your community that you don't need. It could be people's eyes, people's gaze, people's stares, you know, in your direction. Maybe some of it isn't right. And you just got to be like, okay, cool, let's finish this up. Like, I don't want this to be a part of my life. So also another thing, basically, I have to say is that immature, like, say, compliments and sneaking around and, say, going abroad without having to really go abroad, having non-conscious or not fully exact experiences, not knowing where your money went, not knowing how to really deal with situations when they come up, that's going to start to really show up in your energy, and it's going to have to start to show up on your body as well. So if you really didn't know or didn't want to be a part of something and then you did it, is going to be very obvious. And also having no shows, like, for example, you made a date and you dressed up and that person ghosted you. It's really, really important to see what for you did it, and also why. So also try to understand, like, for example, I have certain ideas and then I want them so bad that it overtakes me. Why? When did that happen? Like, why did this happen? Did you have a pattern with it? Like, every time I get excited about something, it falls. Why? What did you get excited about this time? How much did you get excited about it? And does it happen often? You know, so for example, every time I think I'm going to do very good in a story, I don't. Or like, when I think this video is going to go viral, it won't. And then some other video I put, and I don't even think I can remember what I talked about in that video, it gets some views, or has some cause and effect. Like, that's effective, and that is ineffective. Effective and ineffective people, effective and ineffective clothes, effective and ineffective exercise regimes, vitamin pills, things you do for a job, where you show up, what for you go through something, why you did that, why you did this, did it actually work? And also, like, some people are going to have to ask you or ask for you, what for did this happen? Like, why didn't you pay me for my time? Or like, why didn't you help that person cross the road? Why don't you help somebody? Also, community, it depends. If you're in a very, very like child-friendly community, you got to take care of their kids as well. If you are in a sporting community, you got to go and have some fun with them. If you are in a dog lovers club, you got to also look at other people's dogs. It's not just about your baby pooch, it's about everybody's pooches. If you have thinking patterns like, no, this is for me and that's for them, or I won't go there, but I will kind of involve, it's just all about that. You know, sometimes you got to be very, very careful as to where you turn up and where your community is. And if you are barking up the wrong tree, did you see something in somebody that they didn't see in themselves? Now, this is hard for me to really talk about because some of it is very true and very nurturing. You might think somebody is your best friend, but they aren't, or they don't even remember why they connected to you in the first place. This happens sometimes with Pisces. Then you have to see that sometimes you can rebirth people by having this kind of weird, illusory kind of like, well, I want it to be perfect and forever. I love you, you know, like sometimes that actually works. And that's weird, but also, did you ever do that for someone else or to somebody else? Also, did you ever want to be, for example, in bed with a person that didn't really care for you at the end? Or did you really like somebody that couldn't answer, you couldn't reciprocate? Are you able to go that direction? If you can't go certain directions, why do you still try? Why is it still happening? Did you really like that person in the first place? Did they give you enough time? And also, yeah, why not? Did you get enough money from that in the first place? Did you have to do it again? So like sometimes it's hiccups, and sometimes it's just like people that keep on getting hit over the head over and over, and they still don't get the point, and they still can't get things right. So the whole wonder about you and the whole juiciness and goodness about you is still kind of Neptunian and energy is still there, but it's more like towards Aries. It's not just this. The whole wonder about you is that you grow for us something, or you do something that we need. There are ways in which you prove to us something is right or something is false during this time. That means you kind of are an educator or a manager or like an inorganic person quite often in certain communities, but through you we understand what it was that you were trying to say to us, or we understand how the world works, or why this is this and this is that. Then I also ask of you, like, wow, is that really the price for your life? Did you really like that? Did you want to be that righteous stand-up person? Did you want to be that good guy telling somebody else what to be? There is a need for that sometimes, but believe it or not, it's better in silence and stillness and away, like out of these people's lives. So like not for everybody, but like creative pursuits aside, I think that you wanting to show another person or another energy or another aura something else about you, or something else about who you are, or what a world it could be, or like what women are, what men are. So the educators part, I would just leave it alone. I wouldn't actually go there. If you already have a streak in your character, like you want to prove something to someone else and you want to keep getting things exact for them or with them, if you really want to show them the best way to do it, I think I would really let it go. Where I think like I'd probably go for happiness that is independently obvious. For example, when I go to that spa, I feel like a queen. Or like when I go out with this friend, I laugh so much I forget about all my worries. When I have sensuality with this person, I feel so free and fresh and renewed. Every time I take a bath with this perfume, or every time I go out fishing or hunting or whatever you do, everything fits. If it's some kind of ancestral thing, I don't know what it is. Yes. So like, for example, I go to the river fishing, and each time I do it, I don't understand what happens to me. I remember who I am, So maybe there are certain blocks with you that are preventing you from having your own life. And then there comes this character and goes, well, I'm going to tell you how. So the better way basically to do this is to step away from any zones or areas in your life which are unconsciously embellishing you for that. It's like Pisces knows, teacher, I know how. Listen, class. So there's like a very, very good feeling also about maybe a certain person that never cared and couldn't care about you being like that. Maybe they see what you need. Also having Saturn in your first house, like, I'm sorry, this is kind of hard to talk about. I have a native Saturn in my first house in Scorpio. It's hard. People know that you need something. It's like, did you eat enough today? Or like, I don't know, do you need something? Can I help you? There's like a helpfulness that other people sometimes need to experience with Saturn in the first house. Like looking at an elder, like an elderly person. Oh my gosh, grandma, can I help you cross the road? Or like, can I help you with your groceries or something? That's something that you have to learn to accept and not seek anger in. So like, for example, it isn't just about you being managerial or being kind of serious or being kind of more obvious and more secure and not so spontaneous in some ways, or spontaneously driven only in your own pursuits, not in controlling other people, specifically for Pisces during this time. Maybe it's more like the mean energy and the mean streaks disappearing when you see, wow, other people think I need help, or they need me to be there because they need help. It's a very hearty feeling. Not everybody knows what this is. Maybe this is like the heart or the core of community or some kind of center of knowledge or creative base. But for sure, in certain Piscean lives, it's going to be like, we need you there because it's so good to be around you. It shouldn't be anything else anymore. That's not for every single Pisces, but if you've experienced that in your life, where people part ways like water in front of Moses, and they want you to be in their life because of how good it feels to be next to you, just how much sensitivity and how much understanding they get just by you having some kind of say in their life. That's a very, very easy job. So also, for example, working in security, just being a guy or a woman, turning up and just, waiting for people and, working as a security officer, there can be something like that. Working in a religious or spiritual community, that could be very helpful for Pisces during this time. Holding space, being the bringer of the truth. Some of it, you see, like it gets really noisy and heart achy and sad and scary for a lot of you guys if you go too far. Like, I'm going to bring the music, I'm going to drum the drum and sing the Siberian song. Like, some of it is just kind of weird. I've done that just last week, just a couple of days ago. Try to grow into like more like, yeah, it's me. Hi guys, it's me, the Pisces. And everybody's like, oh my God, I've wished you would come around. It's like, yeah, because Saturn is in your first house, so you're the home, the house, or you house other people, or you feel secure and sentimental for other people. And then sometimes you don't, and then sometimes people have to reinforce you and help you to feel more security or more rhythm. First house Saturn person usually shows up. Why? Because everything really wanted it to. Usually if you are first house Saturn, wow, it's like you had to be here because nobody else knew what to do. It's a educator, but it's not really educator like Jupiter in the first house. Jupiter's expansion, Saturn is kind of like being compact and contracted. It's like making clay blocks to make a clay building. It's very, very juicy also sometimes, because Saturn rules the bones and certain parts of the body, but it's just not very calm and it's not very caring sometimes, and it's like, like croaky. It can get angry, it can get domineering, it can get like, oh, I'm worthless, I'm sad, I'm disheartened in my life, or this. So like basically, first house set an illumination for you. You have to be very careful with your health. You got to be, wow, you got to be really hearty and healthy with your body. You got to make sure you're getting enough vitamins. You got to make sure you're getting enough sunshine, that you're doing maybe the same spiritual or emotional things that you've always done. Try not to go like way out there in terms of spirituality. It's just like so much better to just basically be, and trying to practice being, like say, oh, look, it's winter, or like, wow, look, it's spring. And like, wow, look, the sky, wow, how nice. So trying to go into these very basic ways that people have always seen life, not to feel fear about those things. And then working out with detox, yeah, sure, detox, and changing family systems and hereditary issues also can be done during this time, and trying to work with you and trying to find pieces of you that are missing or that are vulnerable. And also, yeah, the teeth, the hair, the nails, the bones, the bone marrow, hard tissues, the cartilage sometimes for people also gives way. So it's important to go into the system and to reinforce and support also other people in reinforcing themselves in their lives. If you wanted to, you could find yourself a healer or like a coach or a manager, but make sure you make yourself number one, and it's your body. And not many people that like astrology usually care about this. Your body is like, okay, make sure that you're eating enough, you're getting a sufficient amount of nutrients and vitamins, okay, calcium, magnesium, other substances. They have enough collagen for your bones, that you have enough bubbles in your blood, that you have enough power in your body, power in your brain. Like, it's all just about growing into a more magical individual, of course, but it's going to also have to begin with you physically, biologically, literally. Maybe someone else can help you, and then maybe you can help another person. So that web, that consciousness, like, of people involved in your progress still here. If you like, I mean, you can, for example, buy a whole bunch of, like, say, jars and bottles and little sachets of different types of cleansing herbs and vitamins, and then share them with somebody else. I've done that all last year. Woohoo! It was really good. Really, 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 really helped me a lot. Maybe you also have something else there to do. Maybe it is about working out. Maybe it's about starting fresh. Maybe it's about early starts and early ends. So I wake up at 5, like 6 or 7, depends how you can. And then I go to bed like at 9. That's okay. Makes sense. Maybe there are some people that really, really want you there, really want to hold you closer. If you are a healthy Saturn in the first house, having Saturn in the first house in any chart generally is a hard work, as hard as a hard world. Saturn is a very harsh sign in the first house. It's like anything happens, you'll probably be the one with the illness. Like, say, I've always been the one catching the colds, and getting like weird reputation for things and not really wanting to be there, not knowing how to fit in. That's where Saturn is the best also, because you basically have to build yourself up and say no, 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 or say yes, yes, yes. Try to make a better choice or a better program for you. Basically, Saturn is a very good timeline changer, time healer, reprogramming tool if you wanted to change the way that you look at your body, or your mind, or your psyche, or how you take care of people, or how they take care of you. If you wanted to redefine your job and your presence in society and how you show up in front of other people, sure, you can grow yourself there. But the idea is constant reinforcement. So, for example, did I get enough juice? Did I get enough vitamins? Did I get enough calcium? Did I get enough sleep? Did I do a good enough job? Did I say the right things? Was I conscious when I said that? Was I worthy? Was this worthy of me? Did I try to fix something up by doing something crazy? Did I mend this person by telling them something mean? Did I make them feel uncomfortable? Did I make a friend or did I make a foe? And then, yeah, it is a very unforgiving energy. But because of you growing super fast during this time, if you do grow super fast, you can get so real that nothing really matters to you anymore. It's like cold or hot, rain or shine, walking long distances, being around lots of people, being around people that you've never met before. It can all grow. It just, what you really want here is to not really any longer see the point of what you want to achieve or success as being the number one vision. It's just a kind of point of life where you have to learn how to nurture, you have to learn how to structure, you have to learn about who you are and what you're doing and how hot and cold feels. It's just about like trying to pass things and also accept things, trying to be more conscious and honest about what you want, trying to be exact on how you see the world, and wanting also other people to be more truthful and kind and conscious with you. But most Pisces, unfortunately, they can't really fully like choose people. They can't just go like, your energy I don't really like, I like that, because it's not normal to do that. And Pisces energy is more compassionate and it's more like flowering than that. It's like, sure, we're all a cosmos of beings, we're all different from each other, but we're all kind of one and the same. That's a very, very gorgeous and gospel way of living your life. But kind of, how can I say, I think you must also learn that certain things have to be left alone. It's like, for example, being in love with a drug addict and then knowing that that's the case closed. Like, that person has been on drugs for like 5 or 6 years and they won't step off. And no matter how much time or money you've spent on them, to go to rehab or get therapy, they don't want it. That's not too bad, as well, just move on. So some Pisces people will not wish to go anywhere but stay in one place while Saturn is in their house first house. So when do you want to really, how can I say, when do you really want to learn? When do you really want to grow? When do you really want to be? When do you want that feeling to come to you? That happiness, And in some cases, it is going to be about husk from grain, and certain people or presences just changing their patterns to no longer be a part of your life, or to be a part of your life, but it's more like passive. You can't have the control over other people that you wish for during this time. Yeah, so it's more just about whatever you want to do and then trying maybe to get out of certain experiences and commitments. So yeah, I'm also seeing that you guys are hardwired and very, very tough and strong about where you are and what you want to do. But like, yeah, exactly. What is it worth? What is the power that you get out of it? Question marks. So I will leave these up to you. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a look at the links below. And if you need anything, join me on Patreon. Have a look at my website. And yes, write me a line and I will be there for you. Thank you so much. Enjoy and have a wonderful Saturn transit. Bye.